Thank you so much for agreeing to meet me.
Hey, I'm Kim Roots from TVLine. I'm here today to talk about Harry Wild Season 5 with series star Jane Seymour and Season 5 co-star Joe Lando. You might have seen them in something else before, but we'll get to that in a little while. Thank you guys so much today for being with us. Appreciate you very much. I want to start with you, Joe, because Pierce comes right in from the beginning of this season. I think he might be the first person that we see in the season, even before Harry.
Yeah. Right off the top.
Talk to me about what brings him into her world. What
He's a pathologist. He is alone in his life. He has nothing else to do but think about work, and he goes home with something that stays on his mind. He goes back to work, checks out the files. He starts seeing a pattern going here. He feels that there's something not quite right with this picture. And he hears about Harry through some friends and says, would you be interested in taking this on with me, because I feel like there's a serial killer here.
And if they were murdered? There's another one to come.
That's my fear. And it has to do with a piece of music. And I play the piano, and I'm a pathologist, and I'm a kind of a lonely guy with a dark secret. And then she comes along.
It's so unfortunate that lonely guys with dark secrets are not sexy or interesting at all, right?
As Harry says right at the beginning, she says, oh, no, this is pathologist. And she tells, you know, Fergus, her psychic, and in her kit she says, yeah, well, he's at the door and he's probably bald and fat and
smells like formaldehyde.
Smells like formaldehyde. And I open the door
funny enough, I do smell like formaldehyde.
Okay, and now what? And it goes on from there, because there's clearly instantly a chemistry. So, and what I think is great is we've seen Harry before. We know that she's never been married. She has an adult son who is a bit of an idiot. Well, not as smart as her, let's just put it that. He's going to love her.
5 years I've been playing an idiot. That's not what I meant. Kevin.
Sorry, Kevin. But anyway, so she doesn't really know what's hit her. And Fergus is like, what's going on here? You know, is there a spark here? But we're solving the crime. That's what we do. And then sparks tend to fly. And she doesn't know whether she can trust him or not. She doesn't really understand him. When she suggests that they get together, he turns her down. She's not used to that.
I can see myself out.
I mean, I have to ask.
I'm actually busy.
Well, yeah, so will we find out anything about what's behind that for him as we move through the season?
In season 6, maybe we'll find out.
You're like in season 7.5.
Yeah.
Season 7.5.
I don't know. She doesn't know.
I don't know. We shot 2 endings, actually.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
There's the one where Harry dies.
No.
And I take over the series. No, that didn't happen. We shot 2 different ones, though. Yeah.
We did.
Was Pierce always American? Was there ever an accent discussion at all?
He's American.
American through and through. Amazing.
And they ask why, you know, I've gone there and blah, 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 and I don't quite tell the truth, but yeah.
For Harry, she doesn't typically work in the system. Pierce is very much in the system. Talk to me about how that may play out on screen in their relationship. Like, is he very by the book? Is he worried that she's not by the book?
He knows from her reputation that she is not by the book.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a sort of renegade. She sort of disrupts the entire, what they call the guard, the police procedures, because she knows through history or literature or, you know, her knowledge intellectually, she always has an idea of how to solve the crime, which they won't listen to or think about at all. And it's quite comedic, and but she, you know, she's intrigued by the pathologist, because actually, if you think about it, to be a pathologist is the hardest form of medicine there is.
That's what they
because you have to know every single thing. It's considered the most highly intellectual thing of all.
They're like, that guy.
Yeah, that
We need
guy.
an intellectual. Get me Lando on
Did
the
you finish
phone.
high school? Yeah, but that's it.
I finished high school.
I said, I know he can play this. I know he can play this. And she has somebody who's intellectually up there with her, and so they can discuss what it could or couldn't be.
A broken love affair?
Or perhaps some type of perverted love?
It's a very interesting relationship, and it seems to change by the minute. And as Joe so rightly said, they've come up with ideas for season 6, which has not been accepted. You know, that hasn't happened yet. Obviously, we're hoping people watch season 5. To have a season 5 is apparently a big deal.
Yeah.
But people who've watched season 5 have said it's the best season of all. So there you go. So let's just think we're starting over. It's a fresh new show.
Love it. Well, talk to me. Obviously, you guys have worked together before. You worked together for a long time on Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and you're friends. So Was there ever a moment like where I'm going to use the word chemistry?
Well, there we go.
The chemistry
Drink,
was too
everybody.
strong, and you guys were like, like maybe the note was like, pull back a little bit. Like you shouldn't know each other this well yet, because there's definitely a beat in that first episode where there's like a long look, right?
Yeah.
Like, was there ever a moment where it was like, okay, guys, like let's pace ourselves here?
Nobody said that.
Nobody
Did
said
you
that.
guys say that to yourselves at all?
Well, I think, you know, we're trying to play our characters
Yeah.
and
And I was
the
thinking,
circumstances that we have, as we always do. But apparently, unbeknownst to both of us, the director and the producers, they looked at one another and they went, oh my God, there's like an underlying chemistry here that we've never seen. That's crackling. And I said, that's why you got Joe Lando in to do this. Because for some reason, it doesn't matter what show we're on, whether it was Prudence for Hallmark or it was Christmas Spark for Lifetime, that just happens. I mean, it happens to us in real life too, doesn't it? I mean, we just don't act on it because you're married and I have a lovely man.
Yeah.
My life. We all get along. We lived together there for 7 weeks, didn't we?
Yeah, let's talk about that for a moment. Joe, your house burned down in the LA wildfires, which is a horrible, horrible thing. But you spent time with Jane at her home, right? You and your family?
7 weeks.
I heard there was some weatherproofing involved. You got a little
Oh,
antsy
yeah.
around the house. Talk to me about what that was like, sharing that space for that time.
One of the things that I was told when the fire was coming by a firefighter friend of mine, he goes, tape your doors up. And so I ran around the inside of my house and I taped all my doors where any kind of ember or anything could blow through and under. And when I was at Jane's house, I noticed all the weather stripping. It was like, she's got the doors on the front of her house like some English castle, you know, and stuff can blow in. And I mean, I could see the outside from underneath her door, so.
There are actual leaves in the foyer. That's dead giveaway.
So I'm like, no, because I was convinced the fire was chasing me and was going to come to Jane's house because a month beforehand, it came all the way to her door.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was so terrified of what had happened to me happening to her that I had the cars backed up with the, you know, so we could just throw stuff in there and take off, and I kept going on and on about it.
Oh yeah, he went on and on about it. And then he kept looking around at all my memorabilia and said,
We should move this over here.
"You're
You get all
going to
the
get rid of the stuff. You've got too much stuff here. What are we going to do with the stuff?"
Yeah, because when it comes time to make a choice it's like a Sophie's choice. What am I going to take here? And you go brain simple. You know, you just and I took the weirdest stuff that I could think of.
Like your Sully outfit.
Yeah, I mean.
So if they bring back Dr. Quinn, the only thing that Joe Lando saved was his Sully
jacket
outfit,
and my pants.
which still fit.
Yeah,
Hey.
but I left the tomahawk and the knife. But I mean, I just didn't know what to do.
No,
I was
of
panicked.
course.
You know, Jane was kind enough to, like the day after, I called her up and I said, we need someplace to put our head down because there was nothing available. I mean, suddenly in one day, 10,000 people were homeless.
Shelter, right, exactly. Yeah.
So she let me come over and really, you know, it was life-saving, honest to God,
goodness.
because what you're going through in your head is just terrible.
That is really terrible, and this is a terrible follow-up, but I do love that some part of like your like animal brain was like the Sully costume needs to be saved. That kicked in.
And the front door needs to have weather
And the front door
stripping.
needs
Jane needs to be rescued.
Yeah.
And her house.
But she rescued me, is the truth.
I was a Dr. Quinn fan. I didn't even know what shipping was, but I know that I wanted your characters to be together when I was younger. And I love that partnership has kind of, it's still a thing. Like you can still find TikToks and reels on Instagram about that relationship, right?
Oh, yes.
You both have spoken about how you dated briefly and then it was a little bit terrible between the two of you for a long time. Was it the full run of the show that you guys were kind of prickly around each other?
Yep, pretty much.
Well, please tell a non-actor how in God's name you do that.
Love and hate are very played. I mean, I'm being honest.
I
When you
know.
have that intense emotion on either end, you can turn it around and use it. And I mean, we didn't hate each other, but we just didn't get along.
I tried.
But once we cross that line and come onto a set, we're professionals, and this is
No,
what
I understand
we do.
that, but we're going back because I need to know. So, like, Epidemic, season 1, Dr. Mike's dying in the bed.
Yeah.
Sully picks her up. I mean, and in your brain, you're just like,
I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna drop her like a hot potato. I'm gonna carry Kenny Rogers, but I'm gonna drop her right here. No, I don't remember that.
I
no,
know.
I'm just like all the things, right?
And
like,
we might still have been friendly at that point, were we?
Well, it was very difficult because we did the pilot and we, fell madly for one another, and Then it didn't work out, and then we didn't think we'd get picked up, and then we were picked up, and by now he's with someone else and I'm with someone else, and my someone else is James Keach, who's directing all our love
Complicates
scenes.
things a little bit.
Yes.
I was fine with it.
No,
I
actually,
like James a lot.
you like James a lot. You like
We're
James a lot.
both Sagittarians.
They have birthdays 2 days apart. They're very similar. One's older than the other. It was very awkward and very difficult. And there were times when almost like the crew were Joe crew, and then there were a few people. Yeah, and so there were people actually making it worse.
Yes,
which we didn't
there
realize
was
until
someone in the
years
background
later.
setting fires,
There was
so to
somebody
speak.
purposely, because they kept coming to me and saying, you know, Joe can't be like that to you. You know, we're going to get someone else in. We're getting rid of Joe. I mean, no.
Bring
no.
in John Schneider.
Yes.
I promise. I'll give you no call to ever think of me as anything but a friend.
So they did. They brought in John Schneider, and I went,
Sully
no.
fall off a cliff.
Yeah, they did. They tried everything. They put
I
him
have
in
to
a
tell you,
cave.
sometimes it
Put
was
you
so
in a
pleasant
cave.
coming to work with that kind of stuff on your back ahead of time, knowing that this is what's going on. But again, it never showed up on screen, did
But
it?
they told you it was me that wanted it, whereas I was
Yeah.
the one fighting all the time
No,
to
she
not
was-
do that. I was absolutely fighting for Joe. I said, I don't care if he never says hello to me other than as Sully. That is fine, so long as the material works. And it did. And I think, actually, in retrospect, watching it, there was so much chemistry in the entire 7 years that we did it.
Yeah.
Because it was underlying, you know, if we had been living together happily ever after, or, you know, I'd said you didn't put the cat out, you know, did you walk the dog, have you bought the groceries, you didn't clean the toilet.
That's my job.
That was like, if we'd
Did
had
you
some
hitch
sort
the
of,
wagon?
if we'd had some
Find
sort
the
of,
cat.
if we'd had some sort of domestic arrangement,
Yeah.
which by then we would have, if we'd stayed together,
Yeah.
it would have been catastrophic to the chemistry of the show. And us, because, you know, he's with the perfect lady in his life, and I'm with the perfect man in mine.
Turn out the way
But
they
we had a
should.
very romantic thing that happened on the pilot. Do you remember with the flood and the...
Oh, yeah.
and,
Oh yeah, I read about this, right? Like you basically
Yeah,
wrote
that was
in
kinda-
like
that was kinda
Sully,
cool,
like,
yeah.
hey.
I climbed out of the window of a Cadillac that was being driven by
The head of the studio.
the nephew of the head of the studio, who had his first job, and was not going to let me out.
And he turned the car right into this stream of water because there was a
Right.
flash flood.
Yeah.
And I
And
had
it
a
crashed.
pickup truck, like a four-wheel drive pickup truck at the time, because of course.
Sully,
And
mountain man.
And I made it through the water, and when I turned around and looked in the rearview mirror, I saw her car coming behind me, and then he turned into the way the water was coming. I'm like, no, oh, that was it. And then the engine died, and I backed up and pulled the truck next to it, and then she jumped out of the window, through my window, the suitcases, you know, you can imagine Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton.
No, I didn't even own a Louis Vuitton. Give me a break. It's a plastic bag, probably.
And got in there, and then I broke down a little fence thing that was there, and we drove out and continued to go to try to get back to town, but it was flooding and mudslides, and we ended up in some Mexican bar and margaritas later.
I just picture like wind blowing through your Sully hair as like you're driving away from the engine.
Baseball
It
cap
was,
on, it was
basically.
raining.
Yeah, basically, he's been solidifying my Michaela my entire life, as long as I've known you. You've always been taking care of me.
Tried.
Yeah, he's tried. He's like, I'm the man. I know how to fix this. You know, you're not safe on your own.
That was
You
the thing
need
that
me.
surprised
You
me about
need
the
me.
fire.
And I'm like, don't, no,
I wasn't
excuse me.
anything like that.
And I kept saying, Joe, the show's called Dr. Quinn, not Sully. Okay, Dr. Quinn, she has the answers, not Sully. Okay.
I had a tomahawk.
Harry Wild, she's wild. Watch out.
So wait, so we had a long period of not being best friends, right? When,
Yes.
for each of you, can you pinpoint when that might have started to change?
One day
After I came back from Canada, I had a show of my own up in Canada, and I came back, and I think he just invited me over to dinner, and we just started having dinner, you, James, myself.
Yeah.
I remember a bunch of that, and just, it was gone, you know, that whatever was
We
gone.
never questioned it.
And it just got better and better. And then one day, someone knocks at my door, and there's Jane.
I mean,
And she was upset about something, and she came in, and
Oh, yeah, I did.
and that was a big turning point too.
That
Because
was
you actually
big.
reached out to me for help.
I
you know?
was going through a terrible, terrible, terrible crisis, and I could not stop crying. I couldn't sleep. I didn't know what to do with myself. And I knocked on his door, and his wife, Kirsten, opened the door and said, come in. And I sat down on the couch and started blabbering, and she said, "I'll leave you guys." And for a few hours, you know, I blathered in his arms, and he helped me get my act together, and that was it. That was it.
Yeah, that's probably a big point. We haven't even thought about
forgot that.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that you're willing to talk about it. There are lots of co-stars who don't get along and never talk about it. What made you want to share this part of your relationship, the history of your relationship, with people?
I think
why
there were
dance
so many
around it,
fans, and the fans were always on the set. So, no, I don't know that anyone really knew we didn't get along, except the crew.
Yeah.
You know, let's be perfectly honest.
Okay.
I'm much older than you, and you had your life planned out. You were going to find Mrs. Lando, and you were going to have 4 kids in a white picket fence, all of which you did perfectly.
Yeah.
Right? I sort of was in the middle of this, and I came with the baggage of a divorce. I've lost all my money and everything, and I had 2 children and a stepdaughter who I think of as my own in tow. So suddenly you're with a divorced woman with going to school things, and you were taking me on dates to a pool hall.
Yeah. I like to play
And at
pool.
one point we went, I guess this isn't going to work.
My goodness. So A Christmas Spark was the last time you guys had been on camera
Yes.
together. What was easy about falling back into it? And was there anything that took a minute to kind of get back together on camera? No?
No, it's exactly the same for me.
Exactly the same?
Yeah.
No, I mean, every time we get together, it's exactly the same. It doesn't matter if we haven't spoken to each other for whatever, or we've been really close, or we've been through, literally fire and brimstone,
Yeah.
which we have. We just pick right up. And what's interesting, we don't pick up as Jane and Joe. We pick up absolutely as whatever the characters are. But the Jane and Joe kind of chemistry really helps, because there's a vocabulary or an understanding of how he might react or what would get him. We can play tennis together is basically what had happened. So the two, it just seems crazy that we don't do this more often, because you don't often find someone you can play opposite, that you can play that spontaneously and at the same time be, on book and do it right. Yeah.
Season 6, let's go. Let's go.
So let's go.
All right.
Please.
Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you
And
so
we're all
much.
going to tune in to see you when Harry Wild returns for season 5 on Acorn TV.